Does your Boston Terrier behave like a polished little gentleman one moment, then transform into a snorting, blanket-stealing maniac 5 seconds later? You are definitely not alone, because Boston parents everywhere share stories that sound strangely familiar. Before we begin, please like this video and subscribe to Boston Terrier Land for more funny and helpful Boston Terrier content. Today, we are exploring 8 weird things Boston Terriers do, starting with the mildly unusual and ending with pure Boston chaos. Stay until the final habit, because almost every young Boston Terrier seems to have experienced it. 1. They squeeze into impossible spaces. A Boston Terrier can have an entire couch available and still choose the 6-inch gap between two people. They will push one shoulder into the opening, wiggle their compact body forward, and slowly claim space that never existed. Sometimes they climb behind your back, sit directly on your feet, or wedge themselves between you and your partner. This behavior looks ridiculous, but it usually comes from their affectionate, people-focused nature. Boston Terriers were developed as companion dogs. So many of them feel happiest when they are physically included in the family moment. To your Boston. Personal space is apparently a strange human rumor. 2. They disappear beneath blankets. Many dogs enjoy a comfortable bed, but Boston Terriers often treat blankets like underground tunnels. They circle the blanket, paw at one corner, push their face underneath, and vanish until only a suspicious lump remains. Some will sleep completely covered for hours, while others leave one nose, one paw, or 2 enormous eyes sticking outside. Their short coat may make warm bedding especially appealing during cooler weather. However, always make sure your Boston can move freely, breathe comfortably, and escape the blanket without help. Nothing looks more Boston than a tiny tuxedo face emerging from a blanket after hearing the refrigerator open. 3. They communicate with silent stares. Boston Terriers do not always need barking to express a very strong opinion. They may sit across the room and stare at you with wide, serious eyes until you finally understand the emergency. Perhaps a toy rolled under the couch. Dinner is 3 minutes late, or someone closed the bathroom door. If the stare fails, many Bostons add a dramatic head tilt, a tiny paw tap, or one impatient little huff. Living with this breed sometimes feels like sharing a home with a silent comedian who expects perfect mind-reading skills. Eventually, most owners learn the difference between the snack stare, the bathroom stare, and the urgent blanket-lifting stare. 4. They lick absolutely everything. Some Boston Terriers lick hands, faces, furniture, blankets, floors, and occasionally the empty air. A quick affectionate lick is harmless, but dedicated Boston licking can become an entire evening activity. You may discover a mysterious wet patch on the couch and immediately know which small resident created it. Licking can come from affection, curiosity, boredom, self-soothing, or the delicious possibility that food once touched that location. When licking becomes sudden, constant, or focused on one painful body area, a veterinary check is the sensible next step. Otherwise, you may simply be living with a dog who believes every surface deserves a careful taste inspection. 5. They redesign their beds repeatedly. You can place a beautiful dog bed in the perfect location, but your Boston may reject your interior design completely. They scratch the cushion, spin several times, drag the blanket away, then collapse beside the bed instead. Some Bostons push beds toward sunny windows, warm vents, or whichever room currently contains their favorite person. This nesting ritual can continue for several minutes, even though the final result looks almost identical to the beginning. Then, just as everything becomes perfect, they may stand up and restart the entire project. Apparently, comfort requires professional-level adjustments that humans are not qualified to understand. 6. They produce an entire soundtrack. Boston Terriers can snore, snort, grunt, sigh, squeak, and make noises that sound surprisingly human. Their short, broad heads place them among brachycephalic breeds, so airway sounds are more common than they are in longer-nosed dogs. Many Bostons also have an unfortunate talent for releasing powerful gas while looking completely innocent. Swallowed air, eating speed, diet, and digestive sensitivity may all contribute, so the flat face is not the only explanation. Occasional funny noises may become part of family life, but labored breathing, blue gums, collapse, or severe distress requires urgent veterinary attention. Your Boston may sound like a tiny motorcycle, but comfortable breathing should always matter more than the joke. 7. They sleep like gravity stopped working. A sleeping Boston Terrier can bend into positions that seem physically impossible. Their head may hang over the bed, their legs may point in 4 directions, and their spine may resemble a question mark. Some sleep flat on their backs with every private detail displayed proudly to the entire household. Others press their face into a cushion, pile themselves onto another dog, or balance halfway between two pieces of furniture. These strange positions usually mean your Boston feels secure enough to become completely relaxed. Of course, the moment you reach for a camera, they often wake up and look at you like you are the weird one. 8. They release the legendary Boston Zoomies. Finally, we have the behavior that turns a quiet living room into a miniature racetrack. A young Boston Terrier may suddenly lower their body, widen their eyes, and launch into several high-speed laps. They race around furniture, bounce off cushions, reverse direction without warning, and somehow avoid every obstacle by 1 inch. These frantic random activity periods, commonly called zoomies, often appear after bathing, exciting play, or a burst of stored energy. They are especially common in playful younger dogs, although some adult Bostons keep their racing career alive for years. Give them a safe, non-slip area, remove dangerous objects, and enjoy the performance without encouraging overheating. The zoomies usually end as suddenly as they began, leaving one panting Boston and several confused humans behind. Boston Terriers may be weird, noisy, clingy, and completely convinced that every blanket belongs to them. That unforgettable mixture of affection and comedy is exactly why their families love them so deeply. What is the strangest thing your Boston Terrier does when nobody else is watching? Share your story below, then like this video and subscribe to Boston Terrier Land for more Boston Terrier fun.